So the first thing you'll actually notice is Bayonetta has a new. She's had a makeover. She's actually got a shorter hairstyle now. Fans may notice that she's not one to keep her style. She's got to be looking new. So she's actually got some new moves as well. She's actually got some whips on her boots now. So when she kicks, she can whip the enemies, and she can also dual wield swords now as well. The action, I should say, in this scene too, to just kind of set the stage, you're actually fighting on a jet fighter and going through this cityscape all along while you're fighting these angelic centaurs. So it's pretty straightforward story there.
And pretty Bayonetta as well. Now, question: we saw the gameplay on the tablet right there. Is there any kind of can you play the entire of the experience on the tablet if you so choose?
Yeah. So as you can see right there, the game does fully support what we call off-TV play. So if someone's got the TV and you want to keep the action going, in the living room, you've got that option for off-TV play. Now Terry, who's actually playing right now, demoing the game, he's using the traditional controls, which again, everyone that's played the original, you're going to be used to those, button combinations, the analog to control. But the game does feature an accessible touchscreen control option as well. So for those that might be intimidated by, the challenging nature of, performing all of these combos, you can actually tap the touchscreen with the stylus to attack, slide the stylus to jump or evade. So again, there's the option to make the game a little bit more accessible to those fans that are just getting into the series.
But for the folks that are already into the series, presumably the addition of those kinds of controls in no way impacts their own so-called hardcore experience.
Absolutely. This game is definitely hardcore. You can see one of the new things they've actually added as well. In the upper left, you'll see the magic gauge filling up. When you actually fill that all the way up, you have the opportunity to perform what's called the Umbran Climax, which is a brand new attack. Essentially, it's kind of this system where you can unleash devastating attacks on your enemies, and it kind of gives you this, I should say, a good sense of release and really power, sense of power and euphoria, if you will.
So, the original Bayonetta, certainly known for a certain amount of gratuitousness in terms of the character. We saw a lot of her body, let's say. Shall we presume to see the same thing in Bayonetta 2?
You'll see a lot of her body. You'll see a lot of her torture attacks here as well, which return. You've got these great torture attacks. We've actually seen a little bit of her kicking the centaurs into this spinning treadmill of blades and just tearing them to shreds. Because just beating up on these centaurs isn't enough. You've got to torture them.
So, if anybody's got questions, obviously ask in the twitch.tv comments or use Twitter hashtag GameSpotE3 to let me know what you've got to ask there. But let me ask about the game's progression. How neat and or powerful do you start, and how ultimately how do you access new weapons, new moves, and so on and so forth?
So the overall storyline of the game, we haven't really unveiled yet, but again, we have shown off the new weapons. You've got the new whips on your boots, and like I said, the dual wielding swords. You've also got the return of Jean, which you actually saw a little bit of in the cutscene. Fans of the first game may notice, or may remember that Jean was kind of your, your rival in the first game. In this game, she actually returns, but she plays the role a little bit more of a sidekick now. And at certain points, she'll actually join the battle. Here, she's actually controlled by AI, but she'll be able to join your battle. So here, the scene is actually switched from that jet fighter. The enemies have torn up the jet fighter, so you have to jump to this speeding bullet train, and this giant kind of Cyclops-esque angel is just tearing at you right now. So again, there's John riding along the fighter behind you, just trying to help you out.
Let's talk about hair. All right, so some people out there saying, oh, I don't like the short hair. What does that mean in terms of gameplay? I mean, obviously, you've still got giant hair attacks going everywhere and so on and so forth. That's correct, right?
Right. So again, when you perform that Umbran Climax, when you fill up your magic gauge and, unleash these infernal weaves, basically these demons kind of from your hair, you've still got them. So all of those crazy infernal weaves are back, these infernal demons to cause massive damage. So again, the development team is definitely keeping that in mind. The hair attacks are not going away.
Good. Now, you mentioned obviously a sidekick here, but going beyond that, can you talk about other characters? Can you talk about sort of the story progression? Who are the kinds of people that we will meet and guide us through the adventure?
You know, in the trailer, we kind of unveiled a few of the other characters that you're going to be seeing along your journey. You may notice a few of them from the first game, but again, the specifics we haven't really unveiled. One exciting thing we did release just yesterday morning is that the game will feature two-player mode of some kind. We haven't gone into the full details of that, but of course the first game was a single-player experience. So really excited about the two-player inclusion, and we're hoping to share more details soon.
Great. Now we've seen some bosses in action, as it were here. What kind of insanity can we expect from these big boys?
Well, right now, again, you see this massive Cyclops-esque enemy. The interesting thing, after this battle actually finishes, so in the first game you were really fighting against these angels throughout the game. In this demo that we've got here at E3 2013, we're actually showing off that you will, at times, you will fight demons as well. And so, to what degree that plays a role, we haven't gone into quite yet, but it's not just angels anymore. So here you can see Jean and Bayonetta teaming up.
I've got things dropping off of me left and right. Apparently, I'm so excited for Bayonetta 2 that I've got devices falling to the floor. I've got breaking mics. I just can't. Apparently, I can't contain myself.
Umbrella climax.
Let's not call it that. But you know, in all seriousness, we're looking at Bayonetta 2. How, you know, you're at Nintendo obviously, and not at Platinum. But how did you guys feel about bringing a franchise like this, known for its sort of its hardcore fan base, and bringing it to a Nintendo platform? And how was that feeling for you guys?
You know, I think it's really exciting for us. We want to offer something for everyone. Of course, you know, in the booth we're showing off Mario Kart 8, we're showing off Super Mario 3D World, but it's great, again, like you mentioned, to have something for everyone, so those hardcore fans can truly expect to have this game, you know, again, pull no punches. It's going to be just as Bayonetta fans expect out of this game. So.
Now, one thing we haven't sort of seen is sort of the surrounding adventure game aspect, you know, the exploration. We've been focusing clearly right here on combat, but outside of combat, how are you going to be getting around in the game? How are you going to be accessing new weapons, new abilities, and just checking out the world outside of all this really colorful and vibrant sort of slashing?
Right. Again, that's another great question. I mean, all we're able to show off here at E3 are these kind of intense cinematic boss fights. Right here, you're actually going to be fighting this giant infernal demon named Gamora, who you really didn't fight the angel, or you didn't really fight demons in the first game so much as you were fighting angels. So there's a little bit of mystery as to why these things are happening.
Dennis Hahn on Twitter is asking if there's any chance of the original Bayonetta coming to the Wii U. Obviously, you know, maybe some people that have just Nintendo platforms want to get caught up. So what do you have to say to that? For that?
We've got nothing to announce at this time, but you know, that's all we can say.
Yeah. And now again, more boss fighting. What do you suppose? The largest boss in Bayonetta 2 is? How big does it get, Corey?
You know, judging by this boss, who's pretty massive himself, this giant infernal demon kind of climbing up this skyscraper, I don't know, but if this is anything to judge by, I can't wait personally to see.
And it looks like we're going to be wrapping up soon, so let me get all the specifics out of the way, the things people want to know most. First of all, when is Bayonetta 2 coming to store shelves?
We've announced a release date of 2014, so next year.
So next year, sometime, Corey. That's all we're getting from you today.
Sometime in 2014.
All right, sometime in 2014. Obviously, it's a Wii U exclusive.
It is Wii U exclusive. Yep.
And what do you think? What do you want people to know most about Bayonetta 2? If they're looking at this thinking, I don't know, what do you think you can say to them that's going to push them over the top?
You know, to fans of the original, I would just say, you know, if you're here at E3, definitely give it a chance. Try it out. If you even watch a video, you'll see again that we pulled no punches in bringing the hardcore action that fans expect out of the Bayonetta series and expect from Platinum Games. And then if you haven't given it a chance yet, you know, we've got that great new control scheme, so if you don't like the traditional controls, you can go for the little bit more accessible touch controls to give it a try.
Awesome. Well, apparently up next we've got some Deadfall adventures coming to the show floor. I think everything that is attached to me has broken.